Hello everyone, welcome towards match day number 6 of the ESL Pro League North America Division, and once again another old but new face, I would say, but on the different side.
Yeah.
The real Elfish guy with me in the flesh. How are you, man?
I'm good. It's good to be back. Been a little while since I've been on Pro League, but looking forward to getting this one underway. Of course, as you can see behind us, Misfits and Rogue going to be the first matchup today, and I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think Misfits coming into this one probably with a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, well, for who's got the advantage?
Misfits.
Misfits. Okay, I was just about to say. I thought you said Rogue for a moment had the advantage.
No.
But we can talk more about the matchups. I mean, the world is watching right now. Obviously, for the viewers watching out there, Intel, you should probably get one. It's not much really to say.
I have an i7 actually.
I have an i7 as well. That's
Except
why
it's an old one.
That's why I have to say, like, there's not much to really say about Intel because
everyone's got one already.
Everyone's already got one. If you don't use one for Counter-Strike, you're kind of lacking.
Yeah,
and I mean, if you want to hit the real stream life, you want to be able to really get it out there with the people, you got to have an Intel. And I think Elfish Guy does it quite well. Just tune into his stream if we're being a full sellout.
Oh yeah, I'm a big sellout sometimes.
We're just
wink, wink.
Plugging your personal stream. But obviously, match day number 6, we do have a couple of good matches on today. Yep. I mean, this is kind of good because we're now starting to kind of follow the storylines of
oh my god.
Too much
BM already starting.
Yeah, too much BM.
What time is it? Like 9 o'clock in the morning?
For us. It's over the evening over there for you guys in America, but over here in Australia, we have just woken up. So
Kevin just wakes up and he eats bad manners for breakfast, and then he spews it out all over
I
the
was
broadcast.
careful not to say at the very least. Then I was like, look, I should be honest and say that. But they're a team on the upwards trajectory. But enough about the mainstream, because you can probably, if you guys want to watch that, the mainstream will cover that. Yeah. If you're here, you're probably for Misfits versus Rogue, and once again, there's really not much to say about Rogue. I mean, it was a lineup where you can kind of, you could have hyped up. There's a little bit of potential there. There's, you know, obviously led by Hiko. You know, apparently Wardell was joining, but then he left. And that, to me, is just like a big killer for this team, where now they've got 2 subs as fill-ins. And that's just never good for a lineup.
I mean, there are names on this roster. Like you mentioned, Hiko, obviously, Uber as well. These are guys that they can have those big games. They can turn things around, but so far we haven't really seen that in at least this season of NA Pro League. Against Rogue, against Misfits, I suppose maybe there's an opportunity here. Misfits aren't necessarily the top tier of NA Pro League, so if there is a team that Rogue can maybe do it against, then maybe Misfits is going to be that. But then again, I mean, Misfits, for their own right, are towards the top end of things at least. They're maybe not at the top, but they're definitely a good team here, at least in the top half. And we know, of course, Rogue is pretty much sitting at the bottom at the moment. So I think still a tough match coming into this one for Rogue. We're going to have to see those big stars firing up.
Yeah, I would counter-argue as well on the Misfits point, but I'll continue afterwards. Who's your favourite player?
Who's my favourite player in Pro League?
In Pro League.
So you've asked me this before, and I always have to say JKS. Just for the sake of some sort of difference, I'm going to go with Azza. Hashtag no bias for the Aussies. Azer is my favorite player today. AZR.
AZR.
Nah, Azza's always a good one. And actually, I interviewed him at IEM Sydney, and he was a good guy. So I'll put Azza in as my fan vote for today.
I held the camera for you as well, didn't I? If I remember
so.
correctly. This was a while ago, but okay, AZR's Azza's your favorite.
Azer.
I'd actually pick Nifty.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, like, because I think with the others, like, we've had exposure towards them, but Nifty is always one in my mind. It doesn't have as much exposure. I love watching him play as well. He's a sick player, and then apparently he's IGL as well. And to me, it's like, if you can IGL and AWP that well, it's kind of like the, you know, the Fallen style, right?
Yeah.
It looks absolutely sick. So Nifty is definitely starting to become one of my more favorite players inside the NA Pro League, and hopefully, well, we can talk more about Renegades afterwards because, well, they're not playing today. So if we ever have to come towards a time to talk about Renegades, I guess we'll talk about that later. But back towards Misfits, I would argue on the point, this is, to me, Misfits is actually one of the better teams because they're way more consistent.
Right.
They're not like a Liquid, for example, where on one map they can be really hot and then they'll be really, really cold. Misfits always seem to be just, you know, chugging along. They don't, and this is like the same from last season. Even when they had twists and whatnot, they were kind of like just pushing forward. You didn't expect massive upsets out of them, which is kind of like a negative factor, right? Because to break into the top, sometimes you do need that X factor to push you over the limit. But with Misfits, you look at, it's like a product where it looks pretty good. Not expecting insane, you know, insanely out of the world out of it, but it does its job. and it doesn't break.
I guess what you're trying to say is that they're probably pretty consistent. You kind of know what you're going to get from them. They don't have those massive games, but then they don't necessarily always or generally lose to the teams that you would expect them to beat. So, yeah, they're kind of an easy team to place where you think that they should be. And where I think they should be today is probably a 2-0 over Rogue. They obviously have had a few changes since last season with that roster, but we still got a decent core from that roster last season coming through again. They did perform relatively decently last season as well. So sitting in 5th place at the moment, 3-1, at least coming into today. Obviously early days in this season of NA Pro League, but it's a good start. 3-1, you can't complain about that. Not to mention they have gone one apiece with CLG and they've beaten Luminosity. So these are not like bad teams that they're beating. They're beating the decent middle pack, even higher than middle of the pack teams. And so, to be able to get a couple of those scalps early on makes the path a little bit easier down the track.
Yeah, and Misfits, they want to be, or all the teams here really, they want to be qualifying in towards those top spots and playing the finals at the city of Odense, Denmark, I believe. I don't know if I said that correctly, but that'd be a pretty sick place. I mean, I just remember the video. If you guys do manage to stay, there's like a video showing Odense. It's just a sick tech hub. Yeah. Which is the complete opposite of what I can say for Australia. We're just a massive kind of tech hole.
Tech hole.
Yeah, I wish I could say.
Sad as it is to say.
Yeah.
But
because they got like drones, it's like slick buildings.
Imagine having drones.
Actual internet.
That
don't have cables that cut out halfway in between.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
That would be the dream.
Yeah. But there you have it. So that's what the teams are playing for, not only for the NA division, but also for the EU. So. And they're also looking for people to work as well. So if you are interested, go take a look at the link. If you have missed it, you can always use that handy rewind feature on YouTube, which is always good.
Wow, that's handy.
It is actually quite handy because it's like you missed something. You can always just go back just a little bit and take another look.
It's your very own inbuilt replay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's stuck on replay, indeed. So, yeah, Rogue, they've had a very, very rough start to the season. Once again, we will briefly mention that they did lose Wardell, which is their AWP that was coming in towards the side. Now they have to use kind of Whitmer. And as much as, Whitmer's been that kind of player that's always been around for a long time.
Yep.
And I'd say it's kind of like he is also one of the players that you know what you're getting. You're not getting a superstar player. You're getting someone who can hold his position against any mid-tier player.
Right. Against
the kind of top-tier teams, that's when they start struggling. And Uber hasn't really impressed me so far, but once again, he's another sub.
I don't know. Like I kind of like Uber as a player because what we saw from him last season I thought was relatively impressive. I haven't been watching too much NA Pro League this season because obviously this is my first match day. But hopefully we get to see him sort of stepping up here for Rogue and potentially doing something pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, apart from him, you kind of have to look at Hiko again. He is the one in this team that has the highest big game experience. He's got the highest peak in terms of where his performance did lay at one point. Whether or not he's reaching that at the moment, well, that's an argument, I suppose.
There are some moments. There are like some moments where you just see that flash of old brilliance and you just like, this guy, like he hasn't lost it. You can see it. Hiko's the one where in a round, he could be the last one left standing and you don't know. He could just blow it out completely and just take the round for himself.
Yeah, but I mean, is that going to be, even if Hiko's kind of firing off here, is that going to be enough to deal with Misfits? Because like you said, they've been pretty consistent throughout, this season so far. They've had some good scalps already. They've got a good roster coming through here. I just don't know if Rogue, man for man, and as a team, really have enough to stand up against Misfits here today.
It's good in one sense that they do have young talent on Rogue to kind of stand around Hiko, because if Hiko can fire up, if they go on towards a map where they don't really need as much strategies, because they did pick a lot of overpass, which was something I was a little bit critical of over in the first 2 weeks. Then again, they were versing a lot stronger teams. It is very difficult to try to take overpass against established teams, especially when you're playing on your T side. So, no surprise that they're actually moving away from it today. I believe they're playing Cache and Mirage instead in whichever order. More kind of pug-style maps. This may be beneficial for Rogue. Just go on sides where the T side has a little bit more leeway and flexibility to execute. Try to get Vice and Shinobi warmed up and just allow Uber to float around.
It's kind of hard to talk about maps really for a team like Rogue when we haven't seen too much from them. I mean, they're only a fairly new team, and in the time that they have been together, they've been playing a decent amount of Train, decent amount of Mirage. But again, the results that they've been getting on them haven't been anything all that stellar. I think they've played it like 3 or 4 times each with like a 33% win rate on both those maps, and that's like their most played maps, their best maps on paper, in quotation marks, I suppose. So that's really not that great for them. I mean, 33% is not where you want to be hitting. Definitely if you're trying to compete for a top spot in the Pro League. But at the moment, I think for Rogue, the storyline is not necessarily competing for a top spot. It's for competing to avoid the bottom spot.
Let's see how they go. Let's take a quick look at the team lineups. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while for both sides. It is going to be Mirage first map, but Rogue, it is... Oh, we've talked about all of them, but for Misfits, you know, Sean Gers, Sick, and Shazam as that core 3. David Duvek and Amanek, the 2 Europeans coming in and kind of fitting in, and they're actually doing quite well. Have really made just the Misfits roster just that solid 5. I can contently say that Misfits is a good team to look at on roster, whereas for Rogue, it's like that potential. It's those X-Factor players that you're looking for.
So how do you feel about Misfits then as like a whole? Like, give me, let's say in an ideal world here for Misfits, everything goes okay this season. They don't have to have any roster change or anything. Whereabouts are they going to sit towards the end of the standings?
Worst case scenario, they'll sit at 8th. Best case scenario, they'll sit at 6th. They shouldn't move or deviate much from those three positions.
6, 7, 8.
It's just, to me, maybe a little bit critical for me to say, but this lineup, it feels like a lot of their core members have been playing for a very long time. They've probably hit their skill cap.
Right.
There's not much more that you can push once you hit a certain point.
It's like, yeah, I can see that.
It's more about how the team works together and whether or not you can play consistently. And these guys can do that. It means that they can constantly chip away and probably push maybe towards top 4 towards the end, but I don't see them breaking towards, you know, the superstar 1 or 2 position that you want in the NA. Whereas for Rogue, it's kind of like we're still yet to see a really, really strong performance. So it's hard for me to say that Rogue can take it. I want to believe.
Yeah.
With all this talent.
I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, well, to be fair, like we're only 6 match days in. They have only played 4 maps so far. I guess there is still time for things to gel and things to work, but probably would have wanted to see a little bit more early on in the piece, I suppose. You know, at least like a map win to kind of just get that ball rolling here. And again, tonight, you'd have to probably predict a 2-0 for Misfits here. So if that happens, if that occurs, then Rogue's down 0-6, and at that stage, you know, you got to start thinking, where's that first win going to come from?
For Rogue as well, they haven't versed any of the other quote-unquote lower tier or weaker teams yet. So it's been a tough road, especially given that it's like, all right, we've got our core member. All right, we're just gonna have to use Whitman stand-in for a little bit as we wait for, you know, one of our other players to turn of a certain age. I think it's Wrath to turn 16.
I'm not sure it's 16.
It's either 15 or 16. I'm fairly sure it's 16
Maybe
for
it's
Pro
16.
League.
Okay.
Fairly certain
I
it's
don't
16.
really know.
So it's difficult for them already. They're down a member, then one leaves just before Pro League starts, and then you're up against a superstar Optic lineup who's just showing no respect whatsoever, and then you're up against another strong team, and then you're up against a decently strong team this time around. It's just a really, really long slog for Rogue. And if they're able to turn around with a 1-1 today, I'd say 1-1 would be a victory for Rogue. Where
definitely agree.
It's a positive foot forward for Misfits. If they do kind of drop towards that 1-1, it may dent the chances a little bit coming forward, because you do want to take the 2-0s against the weaker teams. But it's not by any means out of the realm for Rogue to take 1 in my mind. And the odds kind of reflect that. I mean, it's not so skewed that Misfits. It's heavily skewed for Misfits, but it's not a complete blowout.
Definitely not. I mean, it's not like 1.1 or something like that. So I think that's actually fair enough, just having a look at that, to be honest. Realistically speaking, yeah, like you said, a 1-1 here for Rogue is probably a win on paper because, well, I mean, maybe, yeah, it's a win for Rogue, but I also feel it's a loss, really, for Misfits, because they have to be the ones expecting to get these 2-0s over the weaker teams. Their opponents up towards the top level of the competition, the guys that they're sort of competing with for those top spots, are damn sure that they're going to be getting the 2-0 over Rogue. So if Misfits aren't able to do that, and someone else is, that's a net loss then for Misfits.
All right, let's get into the pistol round. As Rogue going to be stacking 3, not going to be utilizing the short boost on the pistol this time around. As Misfits just posturing towards the B side.
I mean, having a look into the apartments, Hiko is the one spotting out from Van at the moment. He's going to be challenged for just a second, but falls off the line and allows Misfits to continue on through apartments. Pretty much uncontested. That is going to be nice, though. First pick of the game goes the way of Rogue. Devo Duvek has got himself in an okay position here, but Whitmer and Hiko finding one apiece there as well. This is starting to look like a bit of a poor pistol round right now for Misfits. All the kills going the way of Rogue, and, well, that's cleaned up pretty quickly, actually.
Okay, I just realized Rogue actually have a different member on the lineup, so
Indeed.
Gert.
GRT? Gert? Not sure.
Oh, we can always take a quick squeeze, but with Misfits, once you lose the first couple of pistol kills and Rogue just allowed that established position. Firstly, Rogue, not only did they stack the B site, they actually also got the initial kill, so it was very difficult for Misfits to come into the site afterwards, but they will be forcing up, and Rogue will be looking to maintain as many weapons forward. This will be good if they're able to take as many kills as possible without losing these rifles and SMGs.
Yeah, a bit of an exchange of damage goes out in mid. Sean down to 28, Whitmer on to 30. So it doesn't really favour either team at this point. I suppose it maybe favours Misfits because if they can kill Whitmer, they can pick up that gun. But they do open things up. Vice gets dropped. The gun not retrievable just yet here for Misfits, but they are starting to gain a bit of control in mid, getting a bit of control in towards apartments. Whitmer still creeping around here in the connector. Won't spot anyone out. And Misfits again look like they're going to be grouping up for a B play here. Now they don't have many utilities to play with. That's an interesting smoke out though from Hiko.
Okay, I think it's actually Garrett because there's not much information looking it up at the moment actually. So plays for Aero 51, which is the Canadian team. I think I've seen their name a couple of times around as the B-side execute begins. Oh, there's a good hold so far from the SMGs. Oh, Hiko, that is great control from the SMGs. They've lost a couple of guns, but they should be able to take the next round forward as you see Shinobi just reinforcing the B side. But Garrett looks like he's either filling in or maybe trialing for Rogue at the moment. So Uber is not the sub anymore. It's going to be Garrett. Let's see how he does. Not much information on what seems to be a youngster.
Yeah, well, I mean, no real concerns at the moment. Being said, it is only 2 rounds in, so 2-1. Can't be too excited about that. Hiko, this was pretty nice from him. But again, that's really just kind of what you expect. On the anti-eco, Misfits again here. Just going to be buying up some pistols. No real need for much more. No real economy for much more either. I don't know if Rogue lost an M4 last round. I thought that they had 2 and they would have had to rebuy 1.
No, they only had 1 on Whitmer.
Okay.
So otherwise SMG's up. Hiko's obviously upgraded to the M4 after the kills of the UMP. Really just a throwaway around from Misfits so they get the bomb plant down. That would be sick.
Misfits are already starting to show a bit of a tendency towards mid. They seem like they need to, or want to even, gain control of that area of the map. And of course, I mean, that makes sense really here on Mirage. You want to be getting control of mid if you can. And so far, you know, they're not really being challenged in mid too much. Rogue doesn't have an AWP in their hands. No one's pushing mid, no one's playing mid. So Misfits are able to kind of walk in there for free. And that's great, but then it is just pistol rounds, right? So when these gun rounds start to come out, you have to expect that Rogue's probably going to play a little bit more heavily in towards mid, or at least have some sort of presence there and try and keep things busy. But for now, Misfits are kind of being given control of mid. And this is, of course, just a plain old anti-eco from Rogue. Really nothing too crazy to speak of, though. A couple of kills go the way of Misfits. Sean gets shut down on the A site, though.
No weapons retrieved from Misfits though, so still difficult to retrieve the bomb. Vice has done well on the timing push to not only get the kill, but as well as to just make sure that the bomb is down, and Vice has to dance around right now, but the bomb has been taken out. It's up to Hiko to stop this cross, but always going to be dinked out by Stick, but can't land the kill at the end of the day. So a little bit tighter for Rogue. It looked a little bit scary given that it was just base P250s.
They definitely dropped an M4 in
Yes.
that round. So they will have to rebuy a few guns. Like you said, they dropped too many there, but the AWP does come out here on Whitmer. We'll see whether or not Rogue are now going to start to challenge mid and get some control in there, or if they're going to give it up again. Misfits just going for the full rifle buy, which is fair enough. 4th round in, no need to go for anything too crazy. We can maybe get the AWP if things aren't working out for them here. But yeah, 5 rifles, if you can make that work, that's very, very cheap for the economy. And then obviously Misfits are going to be feeling pretty happy about their T side should things start to go their way here. But again, showing a bit of a tendency over towards that B bomb site.
Maybe they're smelling blood in the water with the new blood playing towards short. Look how close they are right now. That incendiary grenade's not going to stop anyone, but Hiko is going to be caught off guard. Now Garrett has a lot of work to do. Has Shinobi back him up though? They've set up a decent crossfire, but they can't get more than 1.
Yeah, pretty good trades coming out from Misfits. And now Stick is going to be able to out-rotate Shinobi. He gets himself a free pick there. So that is kind of going to be maybe the straw that breaks the camel's back, opens up the B bomb site here. Misfits should be trying to get the bomb down. There's not too much HP for them to play with, but in saying that, Vice only on 14 HP. It's really crucial here that Whitmer's going to be able to find a pick with that AWP. now doubly crucial because he's lost his teammate.
Vaz is too low, and Sean was aware of the flank potential of Stick, just pushing around the edge of the smoke. Good round from Stick, and they will be taking the AWP in hand. Oh, Sean, he's lost his AK-47, a little bit of miscommunication.
Yeah. That is going to cost Misfits actually a little bit because they don't really have enough money to continue rebuying those AKs at the moment. Luckily, they are against just a pistol buy, so they can really invest in predominantly the SMGs. Sean's going to go for a MAC-10 here, but I'm sure he would much rather just have an AK at this point, have Amanek being the guy with the UMP running around taking those crazy peaks and that sort of thing, and just having the 3 AKs. But at the end of the day, look, it realistically shouldn't impact this too much. In saying that, Rogue have force into it, but a couple of guys without head armor, Sean could probably still make this MAC-10 work.
Yeah, do some damage. Alongside with Amanek, they can roll in the dollar bills. They do need to be cautious though, as if Rogue are able to take this round, their economy is reset. Never good once you're back towards 0.
And you can see Sean at the moment over towards the apartments area. I think he's looking in underpass here. So that's kind of fair enough to have him be the guy rotating on his own, sort of lurking around in mid. If he can catch someone off guard, he can use that MAC-10 and it's going to be fine. If he gets caught off guard, if he drops that gun, it's a MAC-10, kind of whatever. And he's probably heard that rotation coming across here from Rogue, but Misfits are going to make their way onto the A bomb site. Let's see what Sean could do here with that MAC-10 creeping up through connector. And again, he's going to catch these guys off guard. When these smokes fade, he's actually going to push through the smoke. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, yes, he knows there's someone there now. Anyway, Amanek gets the kills, and, well, that was very, very clean so far from Misfits. Only dropping the 1 gun, Devo Duvet going down, and now it's on to Hiko. He's very, very good in those clutch situations, or he used to be.
You never count out the Magician in this kind of format where it's a 1-on-4, but he doesn't have a kit, no grenades to really help him, so he's just going to back out. Sean's actually already on the hunt, so...
As he should be, I think, here.
Yes.
With that MAC-10, he will be rebuying the AK probably next round regardless. If he drops, who cares? If he finds that kill onto Hiko, upgrade himself to an M4, great. And then again, that forces Rogue to just start to buy head armor as well, because instead of having full AKs for Misfits, they're going to have M4s. Amanek's got himself an M4 at the moment because he's upgraded that UMP. Looks like Sean has spotted out Hiko. Won't be able to make the kill happen. Anyway, he'll go for an AK here probably. Hiko the only one with a gun for Rogue in this round.
Yep, so all AKs and an AWP for Shazam. Rogue going to be on the eco except for the saved rifle, and still early days for both sides. But standard Rogue taking the pistol, then the 2 anti-ecos afterwards, whereas Misfits now taking the buy round, so that's going to become a little bit more scary for Rogue as they look to get aggressive towards mid. Her Shazam needs to be careful, but he does have backup. Yeah,
this is nicely played here from Shazam, recognizing the danger that he's in. Manages to delay Hiko as well, and Hiko's the one with the armor, he's the one with the gun, so that's pretty important, impactful damage actually for Misfits. Even though he doesn't get the kill, it's still not too bad there for Shazam, and obviously last time we saw Shazam with that AWP as well, but didn't really have much of an impact. I think it was mostly the rifles doing the work there and the UMP of Amanek. Now he's got the AWP again, already starting off pretty nicely.
Flower pots are breaking. Breaks my heart. What do the flower pots ever do towards the M4?
Is that a metaphor for your life?
What, flower pots?
Flower pots
breaking.
Now my heart's breaking.
Deep. Feels bad. That's so deep, bro. Misfits.
God, this is why I love casting with you, Kevin.
Misfits now going deep onto the A bomb site. They'll be cleaning it out quite easily. I mean, there's no resistance right now. Hiko will be lucky to find a pick through the edge of the smoke, but there you have it. M4's lost. And there's just perfect surrounds from all sides. Misfits just have complete control of the map.
Sean just looking for a pick here. Actually spots out Wimmer. Wimmer spots him as well, but yeah, it's pretty standard at the end of the day. 3 and 3 now. Misfits starting to look pretty good now that they have the guns in their hands. And Rogue, see what they go for again here. It's just going to be a full rifle setup. By the looks of things, no head armor on most of the players, so that M4 for Amanek might as well be an AK.
It's going to rip them to shreds except for Hiko, as Misfits will most likely adopt that kind of default that they have, which is just stacking more members towards that B side and just try to slowly work mid afterwards. Sean just needs to be cautious of that with the bomb. He is just sitting back and just chilling out. Shazam looking to get this opening pick on towards B side, but Hiko doesn't really present that many opportunities. He doesn't he doesn't jump the ledge as you normally spot people doing so. Doesn't want to be giving an easy kill away from Misfits. He's really giving a lot of respect. You can see how far away he is playing from B-Abs, and a lot of smokes being used early on, which is dangerous for Rogue. Only got a single smoke left, and that's actually just been used by Vice. They have no smokes left, no incendiary grenades left, only flashbangs and an HE.
I was actually just going to mention that. I mean, Misfits have really shown a lot of interest in... Oh, Shinobi goes down. That's unfortunate for him. Amanek as well, able to find Vice in the connector. But that early sort of pressure in towards B that we've seen so far quite often from Misfits, 4 out of the 6 rounds that we've seen so far played, they've gone towards B. And again, in this 7th round, they've initially gone towards B. So Rogue's kind of reading that play, but what it is doing is forcing them, like you said, to use those utilities early over on the B bomb site. There's still 40 seconds left in the round, and they've got nothing left to work with here on the retake, short of the grenade and the flashbang. But realistically speaking, those are not what you want on this retake. You want the incendiaries, you want the smoke grenades, you want to be able to get someone out of firebox. And I suppose maybe a grenade can do that, but no one really on Misfits here is low enough for that grenade to pose any real threat. So this should be fairly straightforward from Misfits, who they themselves have got quite a decent amount of utility. So you can see the smokes coming out, you can see the Molotovs coming out from Shazam, and Whitmer actually coming up pretty big there to pick up 2 frags. The bomb does go down though, so favourable still, I suppose, for Misfits, but Sean finding himself in a 1v1, dancing around through the smoke. Hiko's completely gone in buy-in, blindsided himself as they both rotated past each other, but Hiko does check the angle, and so Misfits actually end up losing that round, but I think that was more so of the individual play from Whitmer, getting that 2k on the entry, as opposed to anything, you know, too exciting in terms of like a strategic depth there from Rogue.
Yeah, that was a sick play from Whitmer, just slowly walking through the edge of the smoke, not only taking down one, but also taking down the bomb planter afterwards, and that turned it into towards a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-2 afterwards. And that really was all the difference. No one was watching CT spawn close enough, and you can see Whitmer, he just pushes through, slow sneaking by. Shazam, oh, also takes down Shazam as well. Not the bomb carrier, sorry.
I think he got tagged by the AWP through the box, but he still did his job. So Misfits going to have to rebuy for pretty much the first time, actually, in this map. But they obviously had quite a lot of money. They can buy fully into the AKs and into the AWP as well. And again, early B presence coming out from Misfits. Really does seem like this is kind of their default go-to strategy to start things off. And immediately, again, you can see the incendiary comes out very, very quickly from Rogue. The smoke grenade very quickly comes out from Rogue as well. Here comes another flashbang. So much utility being spent by Rogue on the B site right now.
I was going to make a mention of how Rogue were just stacked up in a triple towards triple on A site, and Hiko playing at the edge of the smoke as Garrett does fall. Hiko finds one, but Debiturek already making his way close towards an E-box position. Is able to trade out, and then this is where Rogue just instantly has to back out. Misfits, very easy B site take. They'll be going on the hunt, most likely with a few of the AK-47s looking to deny the guns off Rogue. And once again, it's back towards ground zero for Rogue. Nothing to work with in the bank account.
Realistically speaking, like, what are you going to do against that if you're Rogue? It seems absurd to say that you should sort of stack 3 towards B, but maybe you do have 3 towards B, 1 out on A short, you know, maybe 1 playing A short for apps, and then the other guy obviously holding Van or wherever he wants to play around that site. And that would be a bit of a quicker rotate coming across from the Rogue players. In saying that, though, that does kind of give up a little bit of presence on the A side, and if you start to stack 3 over towards B, maybe Misfits lose a round or 2, but then they start to read that, and then they default back to A or default back into mid, and their control over in mid and in A is probably a little bit easier than what it ordinarily would have been. So not many easy answers here for Rogue. They're trying to do what they can. I mean, they're getting those utilities out early. They're stalling Misfits out as long as they can, but as soon as those utilities are spent, Misfits just sort of walk into the B bomb site, drop a smoke there, walk past it, and kill everyone.
I'd say that Rogue might have to opt to go for the double AWP setup, but even at the B site, it's going to be so scary going for the double AWP setup. You're losing a lot of the versatility that you can have as a rifle. And look at this change up from Misfits. They just...
An excellent read from Misfits. Rogue stacks 4 over towards B site. Misfits go, hey, let's go A for a round. And this is going to be the 3rd round so far that they actually go towards A. So like 30% of the time, 33% of the time really, they are going to the A site. Good shot from Hiko, but realistically, is it going to make much of a difference? Not really.
You're going to be hoping that you're going to take someone out of the Mag 7. They're just reading... Sean's just reading the rotations perfectly and just goes, Whitmer, you can't even escape with a deagle. You're dead. Misfits, complete control of the map. They can hit A, they can hit B whenever they want. They'll take underpass of mid. Rogue, they pushed. They don't find anything. They sit passively. They can't find the picks either. And they have to go on the eco. This is where it just becomes scary because it's just Misfits has the complete momentum and control. It's outside of them playing a little bit more throwaway. I don't think Rogue really stands a chance in the CT half.
Doesn't seem like it. Like, they got that pistol round, and the score at the moment doesn't look too bad for Rogue, 5-4. You'd probably say, like, if they go to 7-8 here in the favor of Misfits, that's great. Really, that's a pretty decent first half. Mirage, at the moment, sort of tending towards the T side a little bit. But when you look at how the rounds have come, Misfits are looking like a far better team at the moment here on Mirage. And again, this one's probably going to be going their way because Rogue is on an eco. I mean, there has been one gun round so far actually won by Rogue, despite the fact that they're sitting on 4 rounds. Well, I suppose 2 gun rounds. The first gun round for Misfits was that sort of AK half-buy with no real utility. So that's kind of, maybe we'll count that as a half point there for Rogue as well. So it's a little bit better than maybe I'm painting it to be, but realistically speaking, still Misfits reading the play much, much better. Like that last round, round number 9, really, I think, showed that. And so Misfits, yeah, I think they're definitely looking like the better side here. Need to see Rogue stepping up.
But how do you step up? They're just losing so much map control, not really doing themselves any favor by getting reset instantly afterwards. I don't think Rogue have actually had that many buy rounds where they've maybe been able to take that single buy round, and the Misfit just breaks like them afterwards. It's just how do you string together a fighting arsenal when every single time that you do manage to strike back, you just get completely reset. Shinobi with the AWP is going to be going towards the B site, which is what I suspected. You'd get that B site deployed early on and stack more members towards that mid as well as A. Garrett's rotated towards connector instead. You see Amanek slowly crawling through. Oh, Garrett, he's rotated out of position just at the wrong time, but he's going to be caught off guard right now.
Yep.
You can see.
Not good.
And they just strike perfectly. The amount of time that Rogue needs to actually take to just set up, they just instantly strike in. Garrett does manage to find one, but Sean Gers instantly trains it back afterwards, and Hiko
dancing over ticket box, getting tagged up a little bit through that smoke and try and get out of there. But again, another change up from Misfits. This time, instead of sort of all creeping towards A, they have a few creep through the smoke on A. Shazam leading with the AWP, and they have that player in mid coming in through connector. Pretty straightforward, really, from Misfits, but it's just something that we haven't really seen from them so far on this T side. So they're kind of just cycling through all these different strategies that they can use. Rogue's trying to counter the last strategy that they used, but obviously Misfits are one step ahead pretty much every round. So another one should pretty cleanly go their way, and you can see already they're trying to hunt down the AWP and the M4. At this point, definitely makes sense. Misfits have got a lot of money to play with. Rogue, basically none. Sean peeks through the smoke there, and he kind of, I felt like he knew where Hiko was, but doesn't get the kill. Amanek does, though. So that's a rifle drop for Rogue. They still managed to take the AWP through, but it's not enough to force up behind. So it's really a tough situation here for Rogue. It'll just be pistols again.
Misfits complete opposite. They can be rolling in whatever they want to buy, except for Sydney property. That's something they can't afford, not even...
Wow. Yep.
I was doing maths the other day, and...
That's always a bad time.
As in doing maths, or as in it's bad time because now it's a Karat story?
No, the maths part.
Oh, fair enough. You know how many orbs it would take to actually just secure a down deposit for a house in Sydney?
I don't know.
How many Dragon Laws will it take? If you think about it that
like
way,
100?
It's ridiculous.
Oof. Well, there goes all the pistols. Now it's just the AWP and the UMP for Rogue.
Oh no, they've lost the AWP as well.
Well,
they do retrieve it, but then the hunting squad begins. You know, Sean is 3 steps ahead of them right now. Rogue is trying to play Counter-Strike, and Sean is playing advanced Counter-Strike. Look, he's
I was waiting for you to say chess.
No, it's not chess, because chess you don't really kill. It's more of a strategic...
Well, you kind of do.
It is.
What about Harry Potter chess? That you definitely kill things in Harry Potter chess.
Did I have this conversation with you about the Wizard chess where, you know, for Harry Potter, for the Philosopher's Stone, do you remember the chess puzzle?
Yeah, of course.
So apparently an actual chess player actually thought about the puzzle for the movie and told him, oh, this is what you can do. So this is an actual chess puzzle. It's something that everyone can do. If you're a chess nerd, join in and have fun.
That's cool.
But he wasn't credited, apparently.
Huh.
But I'm not sure if that's true or not. But I did actually look at the solution. I'm like, yeah, I can see how that happens. There's now a tactical pause comes in. I like to see Rogue kind of shake it up.
Shake it up.
And
wait, shake it off. Damn.
This meant to be shaken.
It was a good try. It's too early in the morning for Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Did you just say Sailor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Sailor Swift? It's like Sailor Moon crossed with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, look what you made me do.
He's the one named Sailor Moon.
Oh.
Doo-doo-doo.
What can you say for Rogue? I'd like to see a double up setup coming forward. Have another buy round, but Misfits, I just feel like they're just going to go fast B. Well, they can go anywhere.
They can go anywhere. They can do anything. It doesn't matter, Kevin.
They could just barrel they could barrel Fireman underpass and it'd still work.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, Rogue are just being outclassed here a little bit. I think it's a good time for attack pause, though. You know, 3 rounds left in the half. They've got a buy round coming up. If they pick up 2 of these 3 rounds, they're probably in with a shot. You know, they've got at least something. They've salvaged the first half. They definitely need a lot more. You know, but if they can get to like 5, 6 rounds, then that's enough to play with on the second half.
I'd still say no.
I know, I understand. It's
Yeah.
not where you want to be, but at least if they lose the pistol, they can come back. They might have a gun round or 2 that they can drop and go from there. If they do, you know, if this half gets shut out and then the pistol round goes the way of Misfits, then that's essentially map 1 over, really. So all I'm trying to say is that if they can get a couple more here, they're at least in with a shot.
At least this round. The good thing about this round is that they have everything that they need.
Yeah.
Maybe missing a couple of helmets, but they've got kits. They've got a full set of grenades. They can go all around from explosions to blinding your opponents, as well as, I guess, choking them out. It'd be kind of cool if smoke grenades actually did damage as well, because, you know, you're trying to breathe in smoke. That's not healthy for you.
That might make them a little bit more OP. Or would it, though? Like, it would really change the dynamic of a smoke.
Yeah, you have people coughing when you have people coughing when you're walking through smoke. Because imagine trying to breathe when you're walking through smoke. I feel like we're going a little bit too in-depth with in-game mechanics.
This game's not realistic. I can't play it.
What was that?
That was my nerd voice.
You're already a nerd.
What?
Normal elfish guy voice.
Bro, I'm jacked. I'm not a nerd.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Jordan.
Stop bullying me on stream.
Cyberbullying as another slow round coming out for Misfits, changing up the pace, keeping Rogue guessing as
slammed.
There goes 6
Dude,
head.
look at that ragdoll as well.
Yeah,
that's not a comfortable position at all.
Well, he'll be having a very uncomfortable nap. Might pull his shoulder as Whitmer's just going to be redeploying once again, but he's going to be tagged out. Actually trading blow for blow with Shazam, but this has allowed Sean to sneak through. Oh, look at this. Aminex pushing up. He'll take down Vice quite easily. And now Shinobi. Oh, no, he's missed the first couple of shots. Will be able to land the spray, but he's got to reload. There's no trade coming out just yet. Sean, what are you looking at?
Hey, I think he was blind.
Whitmer. Yeah, Whitmer's been able to take another kill. Devo Dubek can't trade it out, though. Now 2 low tag members. There is a roast Shinobi. Whitmer. Ooh. I don't know what Shazam's trying to do. He's trying to be cute, but it's not going to work against Whitmer.
He's playing COD while Whitmer's playing CS. I don't know.
There's no time for David Duvek to play this right now. Whitmer's going to pick up 4 kills.
If he would have got that kill, though, you know, he possibly could have planned to turn that into something. I think that round really just sort of went all wrong from the start there for Misfits. I'm not really prepared to get too excited about that one for Rogue. Like, obviously, I think it was Sick that got picked off early. Fair enough. He just peeked into an AWP. What can you do? But then when they went onto the site, nice entry by Aminek, but then he decides he wants to throw out a pop flash for the player in CT. That kind of obviously didn't work because there was a player in Sandwich, and then his pop flash actually flashed Sean, I'm pretty sure. And then Sean couldn't get the trade, and he went down, and it kind of just all sort of dominoed all over itself, and Misfits ended up losing the round. So I think that was just a little bit of bad timing, really, from Misfits. But you know, it wasn't anything too crazy. So we'll see how this double up setup works out for Rogue in this one. But that's one of those 2 rounds that I spoke about for Rogue that they need here to make at least this first half workable.
This is really good positioning coming out from Eco, falling back. That is not such a good AWP shot, though. He's going to miss, but Whitmer's actually going to find it. Whitmer's been playing quite well so far in this match. He's been hitting the shots that he needs to hit and has really won a few rounds. Is that even a wallbang?
I guess it must be.
If he's sitting closer towards the E-box, but you can see he's tucked in the corner, as Whitmer's going to find another AWP pick onto a Shazam.
Still 3 versus 5, though.
This is doable for Rogue now after those 2, on the 2 of the back picks. B side, very hard to retake. Oh, Aminek's going to come up. He's going to burn alive, though, and it's all down towards a 1 and 4. Debaduvek is going to be surrounded from all sides. He gets 1, finds 2, but he can't find the 3rd because Vice is going to push in from Market. And Rogue pick up another round, so it's actually a late resurgence from Rogue, looking a lot better, but once again, it's on the back of Whitmer getting all these crucial picks.
Yeah, and I suspect Shinobi's going to pick up the AWP that Vice dropped there at his feet, and he does, so double AWP is going to be taken through again by Rogue. Now suddenly starting to look a little bit better after that tactical pause. Now they've got the double AWP in their hands. Misfits now the ones on the back foot here, and if they allow Rogue to come back to 7-8, then that's a par score, really, for both teams. Misfits were looking good earlier on. They were reading the play a lot better. We thought they were going to sort of run away with this first half. But now, yeah, Rogue has definitely come back into it, and Misfits need to go back to the drawing board.
If Rogue end at a 7-8 half, it's really props once again towards Rogue, you know, just taking that time to compose themselves and actually just digging deep and coming back, especially playing passive angles, especially with the double AWP setup. I'd say Misfits will be slightly disappointed with themselves, but here we are. The entry's come out towards the A side now. Whitmer's got a lot of work to do. He's going to miss the shot, unfortunately, and they should just back out and save right now. Rogue.
They can't save. It's the last round.
Oh, it is the last round. Oh,
it's all gone wrong.
It's all gone wrong. I was going to say, it's like, I thought it was the second half, or the second last round, but they haven't. Whitmer actually picks up another pick on towards Debaduvek, who decides to chance it through the edge of the smoke and gambles incorrectly.
Yeah, the Warp's starting to do a bit of work here for Rogue, but you have to say, this is probably just too little too late. It looks like Misfits will be able to pick up this round from here on out. Hiko, though, does find Amanek. There is a trade from Shazam. Whitmer missing that shot, tries to get the job done with the Deagle. Stick in the meanwhile up from Palace, finding another one, and Shazam eventually does clean up Whitmer. So, pretty good final round there from Misfits, just to keep control of this match. If they would have let that one slip over to Rogue, then Rogue are thinking, okay, we're in with a pretty good chance here. We've had a decent first half, but that one slightly tips things in the favor again of Rogue for me.
Wait, if Rogue or
for
Misfits?
Sorry, for Misfits.
If it was
too early.
If it was 7-8, take the pistol, you know, have a few good picks. Or maybe, just maybe, something could happen, but hopefully they're able to build on the, you know, hopefully Rogue are able to get the pistol round once again on the T side. They can build at least a solid foundation and try to claw back. I mean, it's never too late to start.
Never too late indeed, but moving on to the CT side is Misfits. I mean, their T side looked fairly comfortable. We'll see what they can do here on the CT side. I suspect if they can get the AWP in their hands onto Shazam, then, you know, that's going to be able to lock down a line. The T side AWPs, are they going to work out for Rogue? I mean, Whitmer's been looking pretty good with the AWP, but he's been able to just hold some pretty passive angles. He hasn't necessarily been having to do anything flashy. He hasn't been having to go in and get the entries. So bit of a different place, I think, moving that AWP onto T side here for Whitmer. And again, yeah, will it work out or will it not?
We'll have to wait and see. Halftime break. Find out after the break. Hi guys, welcome back. It is match day number 6 over here at the ESL Pro League North America Division. Did you just scratch your head?
I did. I had an itchy head, man. What's your problem?
You had all of halftime and you decide
Look, I don't have to be a robot on the broadcast. I'm allowed to show that I have an itchy head.
No, we have to be...
Look, I now have an itchy nose. All right? What's the problem?
All right. Has there been an itchy half for either sides here right now between Misfits as well as Rogue?
I don't know what an itchy half would be. Like, define itchy half. You know when you go on Google and you type define itchy half? I don't think that's going to help.
True that.
But, yeah, I don't know what an itchy half means. I think it's been a pretty decent half, realistically, for Misfits there. I mean, 9, you know, it's decent on your T side. Probably pretty good, actually, on your T side. But I am kind of feeling at the moment that Mirage is sort of like a 50-50, even maybe slightly leaning to the T side anyway, in which case... that would represent kind of a pass score here. Either goes 8-7 to the T side or 9-6 to the T side. And, you know, CTs, they did okay. They had some interesting rounds there with the AWPs, but it was just a little bit too late. I mean, if we would have seen that double AWP coming out earlier on from Rogue, say round number 8 instead of like round number 13, then maybe we see another round or two going the way of Rogue, because those ones towards the end were a lot closer and even a couple of them went the way of Rogue, but just obviously wasn't quite enough in the late stages of that half to be able to put them in a really good position here.
I'd say as well, it's the fact that Rogue just forced up so much. Once again, it's on the CT side, maintaining economical control is so important, and there was a lack of it until the round where they managed to get the double ult set up, where Whitmer was able to start slowly turning things around. And Whitmer, a lot of high impact kills to actually get a lot of the CT rounds. I'd say at least 3 of the CT rounds outside of the anti-eco and pistols, Whitmer played a crucial role. Double kill on the retake on the A site on both Shazam as well as one of the players close, and then a 4 kill with the AWP, locking down CD connector and A ramp. That was a huge round, and that's where someone needed to step up for Rogue at the very least to show that they have an opportunity to kind of bring it back.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think Whitmer was probably he was definitely the most impactful player there for Rogue. No one else really stood up to the same extent. Yeah, it was really the Whitmer show, wasn't it? Like, if he wasn't getting picks with that AWP, then pretty much Rogue lost the round. But if he did get some picks, he got some picks early on in the round, and he got some picks on the retake sort of situations, then that's where Rogue started to find themselves with a bit of an advantage. But obviously, yeah, again, they didn't quite get enough there to sell it for me in that first half. I expect they're probably not quite going to have enough here. But we'll see what they've got for us on the T side. It definitely could change things up a lot.
I've thought to take a look at how Misfits will play the CT side as well, how they're going to set up defensively, where they're going to set up their crossfires as well, and there's not much else to really input in towards it. Still halftime, we could hypothesize forever on where this Counter-Strike game is going to lead. I mean, we could say, look, a team's going to pick up Negevs. What's the possibility of this Elfish guy?
Pretty low.
Yeah, pretty low, but we could talk about the possibility. We can talk about the possibility of a quadruple AWP setup. Once again, very low potential.
When was the last time you saw a quadruple AWP, really?
It'd have to be a YouTube highlight reel for me.
Yeah, like Fnatic that time against, what was it, Envy? I think it was Envious.
Yeah, well, I think it was Happy. He just peeks in and just gets blasted.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's the last time I saw a quadruple AWP.
I think
I watched a fair bit of Counter-Strike as well.
used it. I can't remember. I'm fairly certain some teams have used it, but it's just there's not really a map where a quadruple AWP has the same setup as Dust 2, where you can kind of just have a firing squad, then pick up an AK and just roll down. I'm fairly certain that Fnatic did lose that round.
I think they may have, actually. I mean, it's a long time ago.
It has been a while. We're not great esports historians, electronic sport historians as
Digital sports, Kevin. Digital sports.
Is it with a capital S or a capital E? Is Rogue making a capital A coming on towards the A site. Shazam's dinked out, but it does still manage to get a kill.
A couple of kills going the way of Misfits already. Bomb will get planted on the A site, though, for Rogue. But have a look at the rotation coming through from Sick here. Even if things do go pretty poorly for Misfits in CT, they've got that rotation coming around from Palace. No one is watching that. He's being so sneaky. And Sean, he's just playing the time. We're here waiting for his teammate to come across. Spots out Whitmer. But Hiko, he's read the play pretty nicely here. Not nicely enough, though. Gets across just a little bit too slow. And Sick can pick him up on the cross. That gives a pretty easy job there for Sean. And the bomb will be defused. So, pistol round goes the way of Misfits.
And that's just one more dent for Rogue. They do manage to get the bomb plant down, so they will be able to get the AK-47s in the next round if they choose not to force right now.
I suspect they're probably not going to force here. Just a couple of flashbangs out for Whitmer.
This is just to allow them to get it to a bomb site, just to try to add to the dollar bills. Tech 9. I don't see that often these days.
Rush B, don't stop. Double.
Well, this is something I've seen before a lot of times, and I've seen it just get completely mowed down.
Sean's ready for it as well. This grenade.
Oh, they're going to be hurting.
Yeah, they are. Sean knows it. He gets pinged up though. Has to fall back here. Could get overwhelmed. I mean, he's only got the M4A1S, so he's only got 7 bullets left here. That's like 2 frags at best. Does get the reload off though, and pretty much everyone else is kind of stuck in the apartment there. Amanek's going to have a field day with the UMP and finishes it off with the P2K. Nice work from him. Nice work from Misfits. Only dropping 1 gun. Good stuff.
Able to retrieve one of the guns as well. No, it was just an SMG, so Shazam's going to be a little bit poor. He's going to be left wanting. They're already tagged up low. Amanek just enjoying himself. A little nice replay to make him feel happy later on tonight, probably afterwards. Yeah, 2-0 to any sick players that we could probably put inside our frag clip. The YouTube views. Amanek's going, oh, we've got a 4 kill. Actually, Shazam's got an AWP. Someone dropped it towards him. Amanek's actually taken the sack, I think.
Well, he farmed a lot of damage last round.
Yeah, he's dropped an AWP and just gone, no, it's alright,
well,
Shazam.
actually,
take the AWP.
To be fair for Amanek, he's been quite impressive actually with that UMP. I'd say it's probably been his best gun so far this map. We saw it working pretty nicely for him on the T side. That last round, obviously, against an eco, but it still seems to be working pretty well for him. And if he can get an AWP in the hands of Shazam, and Shazam can get an early pick like he just did in this round, then by all means, that's, I think, a fair enough trade for Misfits. Sean catching Vice off guard and actually manages to sneak back past short and in towards the B bomb site. A little bit safer there than where he was. Surprising, but still, Rogue really not showing up in this first gun round, that is for sure.
Wanted to point out as well how Misfits just control their tempo so well. Deba Duvek with fast, easy cleanup for him just then. I just want to say how well Misfits took control of the map. You saw they had the AWP deployed very early on. I don't think Rogue was expecting the AWP because they went, okay, we're taking that Shazam. Most likely who'll have maybe a rifle or SMG drop, not the AWP.
Yep.
Normally you don't expect someone to sack their, sack their personal bank account to help a teammate, but that's such a selfless play coming out from Amanek. And then as soon as he gets the pick on B apps, flashes come out from CT Connector and Misfits instantly take control of mid because they identify that short is the danger zone.
Looks like it's going to be another B push out here for Rogue. Whitmer spotting the line with a deagle, and he does actually get peeked by Sean. So there was the opportunity for a quick pick there for Rogue. Sean a little bit too quick on the draw though, and does drop Whitmer. Still the B push is going to come out for Rogue. And again, very similar to last round. It seems as though Amanek is in prime position to wipe the floor with Rogue. Sean picking himself up 3 that round as well. Good stuff by the B guys for Misfits. No harm done for them. And so Rogue, again, searching for their first round here in the second half. They will be able to buy into this one, but this is pretty much their last chance, really. If it gets too much more out of this, then I think that's pretty much over.
As Papa Roach would say, it's probably their last resort. As Rogue looking to take mid control this round. Amanek coming towards short, still with a UMP. I'm not a madman. UMP, he's been alive effectively since the first anti-eco with that UMP, and he's just looking to do more damage. And really, this is a big slap down for Rogue. If you allow Amanek to get any more than 2 kills with the UMP, it's just kind of like, guys, what are we doing? This guy's just running rampant with a UMP.
Well, I mean, even if he gets 2 kills with the UMP, like...
That's probably 1 too many.
Yeah.
1 for 1, can see it happening. 2 kills in the UMP. Come on, guys.
You're getting more worth out of that gun than what it really should be getting.
I feel like he's already milked it for all it's worth. I mean, anti-eco, got a few more kills on the buy round, pushed and got a lot of information. I think he also got 1 kill then, and then more kills in the anti-eco. And now, once again, on the buy round, Rogue actually floating back towards the A site. Might just be dry peeking out. Nope, the first flashbang goes for him. He's sick. He's not in the best position. He's going to be caught out, but the flashbangs also mean that Vice is blind, but Vice is just going to be regaining his vision just a little bit quicker. And Shazam and Deba Duvek strike right now, but Vice does well to at least counterpunch. 30 seconds left on the timer.
Yeah, good positioning there from Devo Duvek. Rogue were not expecting another player in that kind of an angle. I mean, they got rid of the guy in Firebox. They thought, okay, that's the guy that might have been under Palace. They don't really check Palace too much, and Devo Duvek does go 1-for-1 there. So just keeps the guys on Rogue thinking. 3 versus 2 now here for Misfits, and now 3 versus 1. Shazam starting to show up with that AWP. Hiko, though, finding one apiece onto Shazam and Sean, and also finding one onto Amanek. That is the clutch that you want to see out from Hiko. But is it going to be enough here to keep Rogue in it? I mean, yes, for 1 round, but you can't rely on that every round. Misfits have still got enough money to buy in this one. Rogue, if they get reset here, that's the map over. So, good stuff from Hiko, but it's not the be-all, end-all. They need more of that.
Yeah, it's just got to do it another 9 times or so.
Yeah.
But if it was anyone on this server, once again, it would be Hiko who'd be able to clutch 9 rounds in a row. There's no one else on the server, I'd say, that'd be able to consistently pull off magic like that. Once again, it's just a single round where it's just, okay, Hiko's down and out, he's playing Palace, but he finds the perfect timing to peek out, takes down the low HP member as well as a clean headshot, and then sprays down Amanek. So, and Amanek, I think, just switched over towards the M4 as well. Shazam gonna be just tagged up slightly to spot the information that Rogue have taken mid control, so he's just gonna retreat back to safety, have some chocolate milk, and reassure himself he's going to hit the next one.
Chalky milk?
Chalky milk.
Is that a favorite of yours?
Actually, no.
Oh.
Sean
right.
Gonna get close range, but Amanek just sprays them down. And Hiko, last man left standing.
Oh my goodness.
Won't be able to take him out this time around. And Amanek, give this man a UMP, he'll frag it up. Give this man an M4, he'll tear it up. And Rogue, this may be the last
I think
bell.
the B-bomb site's got to be off limits now for Rogue. Amanek is just hitting way too many shots that need to be punished, but they're not being punished, and he's making things work. I mean, you'd have to be scared of that B-bomb site right now with Amanek on that. It doesn't seem like he's going to give that up at all. He's a rock. And that basically funnels Rogue over to the A-bomb site. Misfits pretty aware of it. Quick utilities into a ramp, just to make sure no one can push up there early on in the piece. Whitmer, though, does catch Sick off guard with the Deagle. Now, it is a pistol round for Rogue here, but that opening might make something possible.
Yeah, Devo's going to be just overrun by people. A swarm coming now on towards the A side. Whitmer will fall towards mid. Shazam burns one with the AWP. Allows Hiko to transition across, and now on the same angle. Hiko does manage to shut down Amanek with his CT. And now Garrett has also retrieved himself. AK-47 doable for Rogue on the back of a bit of lapse of concentration on the side of Misfits on the A-bomb side. And maybe a little bit of over-aggression coming out from Sick. Garrett, oh, he overpeaks it. Now it's off to Hiko once again, 1-on-2, dancing around triple, but Sean ready and waiting. And there you have it. Match point for Misfits. I was going to say as well, it's going to make it, it's a little bit late. No, I won't say it.
Oh, you can't do something like that.
No, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate because it's just exploiting an overused meme.
I hate you anyway.
What is this? What have I done to deserve this? I come in to cast some exciting Pro League, and then Jordan just says, I hate you.
Well, you're just baiting me.
You are my brother.
My brother. Brother from another
I loved you like a brother, Jordan.
I don't know how that works, Kevin.
Huh? It's the Star Wars
white
meme.
And you're Asian.
The Star Wars reference.
Yeah, well. Aww. It's alright, Kevin.
I want to just break down unconsolably and now eat my chalky milk.
Eat your chalky milk. I don't know if that's the chalky milk you kind of want.
Oh.
Whitmer, nice opening. Scout, he can get it done with the AWP, he can get it done with the Scout. Well, now we might have a round on our hands.
Just posturing from both sides. Playing a mental counting game with myself. It's almost
Counting
like
sheep, trying to go to sleep.
effectively counting sheep, and whether to come to the baseline, Whitmer is just saying, thank you very much, Amanek. Another notch for the Scout. Oh, Whitmer, why'd you even bother AWPing if you could just buy a $1,700 Scout and just tear open the B site by yourself? Sick does push forward, and now here comes Whitmer, does some more damage. Sick, he's going big. No, Whitmer, what are you doing? Go back to the Scout. You can't take the M4 after such a sick display.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He would have won that with the Scout. We just flicked on towards Sick's head.
Oh,
Vice cleans up.
I thought that was going to be a Scout shot. I was so excited. But no, it was not. Devo Duvek now 1 versus 3. The bomb not yet down, but should be shortly. So he's got a tough job ahead of him here. Only a flashbang to work with. Spots out Vice, gets that kill. Whitmer and Hiko. A little bit touchy on the site there. Not sure if they wanted to peek. I'm not sure if they wanted to just hide.
He's only got one angle to come out of, and they'll be able to crossfire him. But Hiko, Whitmer does well towards the end to clean up, but still a little bit closer than I would have liked. And that was really on the back of Whitmer just doing so much damage. He's tagged everyone, and he killed 3 people as well. So, yeah, he killed 3 people as well. There's your head, Sean. That's a good flick. And then Amanek also had a free haircut shortly afterwards.
I'd like a free haircut. I pay too much for my haircuts.
Do you?
I pay $30.
Yeah, but you've got to, you got to style it well. That way, Daddy Sandman doesn't yell at you because you have at least decent hair.
I do have decent hair, mate.
That's the difference between a $20 or a $25 haircut and like a $10 shave, where you just get a bowl in your head and you just get it clipped around, and you wear your dad's suit and you rock up and in trackies. Yeah.
I could be wearing trackies right now. No one would know, except you.
But you're not wearing trackies. There's a well-timed flashbang push. Doesn't work out. It was well-timed, but now a double set up, which means that Rogue really don't have much of a chance unless they can pull up something big. On the back of 2 AKs and a Glil. Vice is going to push forward in towards his death. The stick is ready and waiting. And Smoke towards Ticket, but 2 on 5. They're coming down towards the site now. Smoke's fading. Hiko's got to go big. Surrounded from all angles, pushing forward. Sick, another orb kill on Hiko. He can't make the magic happen this time as Misfits clean up 16-9. I mean, Rogue got 2 rounds, but that was on the back of individual brilliance once again, and you can't rely on individual brilliance every single time. Misfits, sure, Amanek had his moments. Other players had their moments as well, but overall on the team side, they were cohesive, they rolled together as a battalion and just took it quite easily.
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice performance, really, from Misfits. Like you said, it wasn't anyone really stepping up solo and carrying. Obviously, Amanek on the B-bomb site, very, very impactful there for Misfits. Pretty impressive performance from him. But, Shazam had his moments there as well with the AWP. I thought the double AWP worked out pretty well for Misfits when they had it. So, again, I mean, yeah, it wasn't just that solo effort, really, from Misfits. They managed to make it work as a team. And really, for Rogue, the only one that I thought that was stepping up there was Whitmer. He was certainly putting out a lot of damage and making things happen, making possibilities open up. But it just wasn't really enough. He needed someone else on that lineup to sort of help him out there. I suppose Hiko did have that 1 round, but like I said, I mean, was 1 round ever going to be really enough for Rogue there? No, it wasn't. They needed more than that. And so you can kind of see just by the replays here, it is going to be Misfits really, as a general rule, with the highlights coming out here. And apart from that, well, I suppose Whitmer.
I like to see his 2 scout shots. It's just otherwise just... It's kind of like Misfits had a feast in Rogue. They're scavenging around. It's like, please, can I have some more? That's really this match in a nutshell. And now moving on towards Keish, where Misfits are looking pretty good, and Rogue, some of the members do need to step up. I mean, didn't see much from Garrett, but that's kind of expected because it is his first time coming into the roster. I mean, as much as I like to say, look, this guy's come in, fresh, brand new, dropped to 30. It doesn't happen every single time. Not everybody has a breakout performance in their first game.
Yeah, not really. Oh, Whitmer. Such a clean flick, but yeah, like even that round, it was pretty much off the back of Whitmer. And then they still didn't get the next round, even though they had guns and all that. So, yeah, overall, just completely outclassed, really, by Misfits. I mean, kind of what we expected, to be honest. We sort of said coming into this, we thought Misfits were probably going to be able to get a 2-0 tonight. They started off well. 16-8 is a pretty competitive scoreline, really. Like, it's, like, what you wouldn't really hope for much more than 16-8, I suppose. Like, it's get a 16-8, you're happy.
It was 16-8 or 16-9? Now
16-8.
16-8. Okay, now I'm being
You're going crazy
now. The world. What is my head?
I don't know.
What is my head?
Where's your head at?
Where's my head at?
Where's your head at?
I can imagine Whitmer just screaming that after you got the 2 scout shots.
Where's your
head at? All 3 of them are headshots.
Playing that on repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, so going on towards Keish, really, do you think Rogue have a chance or not?
Nope.
No.
Not from what we've seen there. Pretty much everything was working the way of Misfits. Mirage, I think, is going to play fairly similarly to Keish, to be honest. Double Orp's going to be pretty impactful. Whitmer might be able to get something done for Rogue, but overall, it's just going to be a little bit too tough for them. We'll see whether or not Amanek is going to be playing on the small side again, if he'll be on B. I mean, if he is, then he can maybe even solo that just from headshot or something, make things work from there, have a little bit more presence in mid for Misfits on the CT side, have a bit more presence over towards A. If they can do that, ideal setup, really, for them. But I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see.
I'd still say Misfits, once again, it's even on their CT side, on the small rounds where they were challenged by Rogue in terms of where Rogue were trying to posture themselves around the map, you could see as soon as, and I made a brief mention of this, as soon as Rogue took control of one side of the map, you could see that, all right, let's just flash and push. Let's try to get information. We might have to sack one member, use a few flashbangs, but we'll get the information and then rotate accordingly. And that, to me, on Cage is so important, where if you're coming towards mid, going towards B, where you need to get map control and information, that's where the Misfits kind of play will come really, really handy in. Because Keish is not, to me, it feels like it's not a very kind of, it's not a very passive map as a CT. If you sit and wait for them, you can see so many times as Blood, because the T side can take initiative and just roll over a bomb site, nothing you can do as a CT. But if you kind of try to play more proactive, try to take the control of the Ts, force them to be unsettled. That's where the success comes from the CT side and Keish.
Yeah, I would say in the form, at least today, that Misfits are in, then they're probably not going to have too much issue in doing that. They will be pretty confident being able to push, probably take control of the B halls early on with the Orps, maybe Shazam holding onto the B site, backed up by Amanek or something like that. And of course, you know, they can even play mid, push down mid, and possibly take some aggressive peeks in A main. I think that's all within the realms of possibilities here for Misfits, given how confident they should be going into map number 2.
All right, so map number 1 has just been finished in Mirage, but we will be going on towards map number 2 very shortly, just after a break. Stay tuned, we'll be back.